Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when everything around us feels loud opinions of others, expectations of society, demands of relationships, and the endless noise of comparisons. We lose ourselves in the race to become someone for everyone else, forgetting who we are for ourselves. We forget to ask a simple but powerful question: am I truly living for me? Life has this gentle but persistent way of whispering to us, nudging us, sometimes shaking us until we pause and listen. That whisper is a calling to focus on yourself, not selfishly, but soulfully. Not to escape people, but to find your peace within, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. Because the journey of improving your life begins the moment you decide to meet yourself fully, honestly, and fearlessly. And when you do, when you truly decide to come home to yourself, life begins to bloom differently. Suddenly, the approval of others feels less important. The noise fades, and you start hearing your own voice, the one that was always there, patiently waiting. Today, I want to take you through 4 transformative ways, 4 turning points that invite you to not just exist, but evolve. To not just cope, but create. To not just survive, but soar. This is your moment to focus on yourself and rewrite the story of your life. Choose yourself every single day. We spend so much of our lives waiting for someone to see our worth, waiting for the right time, waiting for permission to begin. But what if I told you that the most powerful decision you'll ever make is to choose yourself first? Every single day. Not when you feel confident, not when things are perfect, but now, in your rawness, in your brokenness, in your becoming. Choosing yourself means giving your inner voice the same volume you've given to the outside world. It means showing up for yourself even on the days when no one else does. It means recognizing that self-worth isn't earned, it's owned. It's not about arrogance, it's about alignment. When you begin to choose yourself, you start saying no to what drains you and yes to what grows you. You stop shrinking to fit in places that don't honor your truth. You stop apologizing for who you are becoming. You stop begging for love and start radiating it. And the beauty is, when you choose yourself, the world doesn't fall apart. Instead, the right people, the right opportunities, and the right energy begin to find you. Not because you chase them, but because you became the kind of person who attracts them. It takes courage. The world may call it selfish. But the deeper truth is, when you choose yourself, you allow others to do the same. You become a mirror of permission, a light that says, you matter, I matter too. Choosing yourself isn't about walking away from everyone, it's about walking toward yourself. It's about walking into your own heart, where your value was never lost, just forgotten under the weight of other people's expectations. Every day becomes a new chance, a new moment, a new breath. And in every breath, a quiet, powerful choice to begin again. You don't need permission to choose yourself. You only need remembrance. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. And becoming isn't loud. Sometimes it looks like rest. Sometimes it looks like boundaries. Sometimes it looks like saying no without guilt. And that too is choosing yourself. When you choose yourself consistently, the world begins to respond differently. But more importantly, you begin to see yourself differently. And that changes everything. Let go of the need to be understood. One of the hardest lessons in the journey of personal growth is realizing that not everyone will understand you, and that's okay. For too long, we shapeshift, we mold ourselves, we dilute our truth, all for the sake of being understood, liked, accepted. But the moment you decide to grow, to change, to heal, to evolve, you will lose some people. And that's not a tragedy, that's a transformation. Letting go of the need to be understood means accepting that your journey is yours alone. People can witness it, but they don't have to comprehend it for it to be valid. You don't need everyone to clap for your progress. You just need to keep walking. Sometimes the people closest to us will be the first to doubt our path, and it hurts. But their confusion is not your cage. Their disbelief is not your boundary. You are not obligated to make your growth digestible for others. You are not here to fit into the narrative they've written for you. You are here to write your own. Freedom begins when you stop begging to be understood and start committing to being real. Because the more you explain yourself, the more you betray the quiet knowing in your soul that already feels right. When you finally let go of that need, something amazing happens. You start walking lighter, smiling freer, living deeper, because you're no longer carrying the weight of explanation. You're just being. And the truth is, the right people, your people, will understand without needing to be told. They'll feel your growth. They'll honor your space. They won't require proof of your becoming. Not everyone needs to understand your healing. Not everyone deserves access to your transformation. Some chapters are meant to be written in solitude. You are allowed to evolve in silence. You are allowed to shift without announcement. You are allowed to be misunderstood. Because your peace is not found in being understood. It's found in being aligned. And alignment doesn't always make sense to others. It doesn't have to. Letting go of the need to be understood is not isolation, it is liberation. It is giving yourself permission to evolve unapologetically. And once you taste that freedom, you'll never trade it for the comfort of explanation again. Build a life that feels good on the inside. In a world that celebrates how things look, be the one who prioritizes how things feel. Too often, we curate our lives to appear successful on the outside while quietly suffering on the inside. We post smiles but carry silent storms. Improving your life starts with truth, not filtered truth. Not performance, but deep, unshakable authenticity. Ask yourself, what makes you come alive? What brings peace to your soul? What aligns with your values, not just your vanity? The answers won't come from a screen. They come from sitting quietly with your heart. When you begin to build a life that feels good on the inside, you stop chasing things that don't matter. You stop competing. You stop comparing. You begin to cultivate. You cultivate joy in the little things. You find richness in rest. You treasure slow mornings. You redefine success as inner contentment, not external validation. Building that kind of life takes courage because it means turning inward when the world tells you to look outward. It means prioritizing peace over popularity, purpose over applause. You stop looking for happiness in places that only offer distraction. You stop outsourcing your joy to circumstances. You take ownership, and slowly you begin to feel grounded. You begin to breathe easier. You begin to love yourself in a way that doesn't need permission. You'll still face storms, but your roots will be deeper. Your strength will be quieter. Your happiness unshakable. Because when you build a life that feels good on the inside, everything else becomes secondary. You are no longer living to impress. You are living to express. And expression is freedom. It is creation. It is alignment. It is the purest form of living. You deserve that kind of life. A life that isn't just looked at, but felt deeply. Commit to becoming a better version of you, not a better copy of someone else. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs you in all your authenticity, in all your uniqueness. We've been conditioned to believe that success has a certain look, voice, and rhythm. But your path is not a carbon copy. It's custom designed. Focusing on yourself means honoring your own blueprint. It means growing at your own pace, healing at your own depth, learning in your own way. Comparison is a thief. It will rob you of your joy, your peace, your progress. And the antidote isn't perfection, it's presence. Be present with your journey. Celebrate your small wins. Embrace your awkward beginnings. Own your setbacks. Because every step, no matter how clumsy, is still yours. The world may try to tell you who to be, but your job is to remember who you already are. A masterpiece in progress. A mosaic of flaws and brilliance. Every time you choose growth over imitation, you honor your soul. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, you grow closer to who you were meant to be. You will stumble. You will doubt. But as long as you keep choosing the real you over the filtered version of someone else, you will rise. Improving your life isn't about becoming someone else's idea of perfect. It's about becoming your own definition of whole. And wholeness comes when you stop trying to fit and start trying to feel. Feel your truth, feel your calling, feel your worth. Because the most powerful thing you can ever be is yourself fully, fiercely, and fearlessly. So today, if the world feels too loud, if the weight of expectations feels too heavy, if your reflection feels like a stranger pause, just pause. Close your eyes and bring your attention back to the only place that truly matters, you. Because the journey of transformation doesn't begin when the world claps for you. It begins in the quiet moments when you decide to focus on yourself. Even if no one understands, even if no one claps, even if the road feels lonely, you are not here to be everything to everyone. You are here to become everything you were born to be. And that becoming doesn't happen in the noise, it happens in the stillness. It happens when you choose yourself unapologetically, when you let go of the need to explain, when you build a life that feels like home to your heart, and when you stop imitating and start becoming. This journey is not selfish. It is sacred. Because the more you heal yourself, the more you inspire healing in others. The more you pour into your own cup, the more you overflow into the world with truth, with light, with purpose. Focus on yourself not to isolate, but to elevate. Not to ignore others, but to reconnect with the most important relationship you will ever have, the one with your own soul. Because once you meet yourself, truly meet yourself, you will never abandon that person again. You will walk differently. You will speak differently. You will dream differently. And the life you create from that space will not just look good, it will feel extraordinary. Focus on yourself. Improve your life. Not tomorrow, today.